Why President Obama is so mad at Fox News. That is the subject of this evening's Talking Points Memo. Now, I've been giving this a lot of thought. It doesn't really make much sense for the White House to continue to pound FNC because every time they do that, more people watch us. Obviously, President Obama doesn't like what we do here, but his strategy is exposing Fox News to more people all over the world. However, I think there's something else going on. And Bernie Goldberg has a theory as well. We'll speak to Bernie a little later on. Talking Points believes the president is very angry about being associated with far-left individuals. I mean, the Obama people hated the Reverend Wright situation, the Bill Ayers story, the Van Jones deal. And now the latest, Fox News breaking a story about White House Communications Director Anita Dunn praising the brutal Chinese dictator, Chairman Mao.
In 1947, when Mao Tse-Tung was being challenged within his own party on his plan to basically take China over, Chiang Kai-shek and the nationalist Chinese held the cities. They had the army. They had the Air Force. And Mao Tse-Tung said, you fight your war and I'll fight mine. And think about that for a second. You don't have to accept the definition of how to do things, and you don't have to follow other people's choices and paths. Okay?
Well, in that same speech on June 5th, Ms. Dunn praised Mother Teresa for accomplishing great things going her own way. So her intent is clear, but using Mao as an example raises questions. During his 25-plus-year reign of terror, an estimated 34 million people were killed in China, many of them in political prisoners. By comparison, Hitler's Third Reich is estimated to have killed 21 million people. Stalin's Russia, an incredible 62 million. Now, these estimates come from a study done at the University of Hawaii. The problem Anita Dunn has is that a number of Obama appointees have far-left pedigrees. People like climate czar Carol Browner, science czar John Holdren, and safe school czar Kevin Jennings. Add to the list Wright, Ayers, and Jones, and you have a pattern. Now, there's no question that President Obama believes Fox News is being unfair by reporting all his far-left associations. No other media is doing that. And I don't believe in my heart that Anita Dunn admires Mao as a man, as a person. But I could be wrong about that because Ms. Dunn has not really explained herself, other than to say she borrowed the Mao example from the late Lee Atwater, a Republican consultant. But the continuing reporting on radical elements within the Obama administration has clearly rankled the president and his advisors. That's what the attacks on Fox News are all about. And that is a memo. Now for Top Story Night. What does Brit Hume think about all this? The Fox News senior political analyst joins us now from Washington. Let's get to Anita Dunn first. I don't think Dunn is putting Mao Tse-Tung up as a role model, as a person, but as a strategist. Am I wrong there? Did you see it differently?
Well, she didn't say strategist, Bill. She said philosopher. And look, she may have misspoken. It's a little hard to believe, as you suggest, that she really does admire Mao the man. But the way she put it was, that when it came to political philosophy, and this guy was obviously a communist and as you pointed out, a mass murderer as well, that's his philosophy. That goes to
But
the
it was a
question of
philosophy, if you read it, Britt, and correct me if I'm wrong, she ties Mother Teresa in on the same theme that Mao Tse-Tung...
Go your own way.
Yeah, that's right. Do it your own way,
Go your own way.
And
right.
You can overcome tremendous odds. However, the use of Mao is insensitive, particularly to Chinese Americans. Look, what if you said, well, look, Hitler came out of nowhere after the Weimar Republic and single-handedly raised himself up to the Fuhrer level. Gee, he was a pretty good political strategist. If you had done that, then everybody in the world would have been condemning you. Yet you can take a Mao Tse-Tung, arguably a worse mass murderer than Hitler, and nobody says a word. Doesn't that strike you as strange?
Well, it has something to do with Hitler, and Hitler has become the ultimate dirty word of politics in our time, and you have to be extraordinarily careful about using it. And I think the rule of thumb has to be just never say Hitler. Just never compare anybody to the Nazis or Hitler. You can't. It doesn't work. You can't get away with it. It's over the top.
Unless you're Mel Brooks, you can't get away with it.
Yeah, pretty hard to do.
But it is interesting though that this story we broke on Thursday on Fox News, Glenn Beck had it on. No mainstream media pickup at all. No discussion about it. So maybe the strategy of the White House to isolate Fox News is working.
Well, I think that's what it's about, Bill. I think this is an effort, in effect, to quarantine Fox News and to discourage other media outlets from picking up on stories that originate here. My guess is it won't work. I mean, and here's why I say that. It takes the mainstream media a while already to pick up on stories from Fox News. They're already reluctant to do that. It took them a long time on Van Jones. It took them a long time, and even longer time if you look at it, on Acorn. So they're not going to be in any hurry anyway. And the other thing you have to ask yourself is, if the White House is encouraging these people to do something that they're already doing, that is, hesitate where Fox News is concerned, how do the rest of the media feel about being patted on the head by the White House and told that they're good little media organizations and we're the bad guys? I mean, I think it's kind of embarrassing. And you look at the commentary that's coming out of those news organizations, ranging from CNN to the New York Times and really kind of across the mainstream spectrum, it's all been quite negative on this campaign against Fox News. So my sense is it isn't working very well.
Okay. Now, you say that the Obama people are trying to marginalize Fox and trying to quarantine your word. And I believe there's something through that. But I think the motivation is that Barack Obama himself just hates to be put in with Ayers and Wright and Jones and all. He hates it. And since we're the main news organization that does that, that's why he doesn't like us. What do you think?
Well, I don't think you can rule that out. Certainly those, if you look at the things that have happened to Barack Obama in the news media since his campaign for president emerged last year, the first bump he ever really hit in the road was the Reverend Wright controversy.
Yeah.
And that was ABC News broke that about the same time we did, and everybody kind of, before it was all over, the sound bites were so compelling, everybody used them, and they were really raised some questions about Barack Obama. The Bill Ayers controversy, I think we were almost alone on that for a long time. That didn't go as far, but we know from the complaints they've made that they hated that story and thought it was unfair all along.
And maybe it was unfair because it's hard to gauge, and I tried, and I know you did too. It's hard to gauge what kind of a relationship Barack Obama had with Bill Ayers. Yeah, they were in the same precincts in Chicago. Yeah, they crossed paths at certain times. But the president has always maintained he didn't know this guy, he was around, you know, the guy supported him, he'd take the support. So maybe Obama had a beef there.
Well, be that as it may, I think it's fair to say this, Bill. This remains a center-right country. I don't think there's any doubt about that. This is a center-left, or certainly left-of-center presidency.
How far left? How far left?
Well, I don't think it's. You mean Obama?
Yeah. How far left is he administration?
I think he's left of center-left.
Because I do too. I think based on his appointments and based on who he's got with him, I think that he's the most left president that I've seen in my lifetime.
I think there's reason to suspect that that's true. Not everything he's done is comported with that, but we will see more in the fullness of time. But reporting that continues to remind people of his leftish sensibilities and background and associations has got to be something that they don't appreciate. And I don't blame them. I wouldn't appreciate it either if I were in that situation.
We understand. But
I just question this strategy. I just don't think it works very well. Look at Glenn Beck. He's having a field day with this.
Of course. And
he
these stories
is one
are
of their
worthy.
main objects.
These stories are worthy. It's not like we're making them up. When your White House communications director points to Mao as a philosopher she likes, you know, hey. What's next? Mussolini? Brit Hume, everybody. Next on